Two of the suspects charged in the case of body parts found across Babylon is due back in court today.
That's right. This case has reignited the battle over the big topic of bail reform after all four suspects were released without bail, despite all the evidence linking them to this crime. So Suffolk County District Attorney Ray Tierney is joining us right here in studio this morning to explain why prosecutors could not ask for bail. DA Tierney is here, so good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
A lot of finger pointing going around about this very story, about what's going on with the suspects being able to walk out of jail. You hear about 4 bodies being dismembered, right? But they haven't been charged with murder. Walk us through how they were, why there was no bail assigned to them.
Sure, because under bail reform, there are certain charges that no matter what the facts are, you can't ask for bail. So in this instance, because of what they've been charged with, that's a bail ineligible offense. Which means that they have to be released. And there's a quick fix to this, which would be allow prosecutors to argue dangerousness, namely that these individuals present a danger to the community, and as such, they could be held on bail.
Okay, let's look at the charges, though. So it's concealing a corpse and tampering with evidence. Now,
and hindering prosecution.
And hindering prosecution. Now, there were body parts in the park. There were body parts also in the house in Amityville, correct? So is there any chance, though, that those charges can be upgraded?
So the investigation is ongoing, and I think there's a fundamental disconnect or a misunderstanding of how criminal prosecutions work. So these body parts were found 8 days ago. Obviously, when you're talking about dismemberment of a corpse, you're talking about blood evidence, you're talking about DNA, cell site. All of these types of evidence takes time to accumulate and put a case together. While that is happening, though, it would be very useful for the prosecution to be able to arrest on these lesser charges and hold individuals in on bail.
I know you can't get into specifics here, right? Because we're talking about potential charges of murder to come while the investigation plays out. I know you can't talk about it. So you're saying, though, just to be very clear, that dismembering a body is not eligible to be assigned bail?
Yep, per se, you cannot ask for bail under New York state law.
Okay, so the governor, though, is now finger-pointing back at prosecutors for not charging the suspect with more serious charges, right? So she was saying conspiracy to commit murder or assault, which do require bail. What do you say to that?
So again, there's a fundamental disconnect with regard to understanding of how criminal prosecutions work. Investigations ongoing. Investigations take time. This isn't CSI where everything is neatly packaged within an hour. We're talking about forensic evidence, video evidence, and it just takes a while.
And Governor Hochul thinks that judges don't completely understand the bail reform laws. Do you agree with that? Maybe misinterpret them?
I think a lot of people don't understand the bail laws, and fundamentally speaking, this is a very easy fix. Allow us to argue dangerousness.
So have you had conversations with the governor or anybody that has the power to do that, right? Lawmakers in Albany, assembly members, senate members, who can change the laws or standards here. She has said that she made the changes and made the bail reform stricter after the first go-around where people were complaining about it.
There have been piecemeal changes to the law, but when you look at facts and circumstances and all the various charges, you're always going to come up with an instance where, notwithstanding the dangerousness of an individual, you can't ask for bail and you have these absurd results. So again, you can't fix this piecemeal. What you have to do is do a wholesale change, and that's allow us to argue dangerousness. If you allow us to argue dangerousness, like in the federal system and in like 49 of the 50 states, this problem will be gone.
So what can be done now? So what happens now?
So the investigation is continuing, we're working with great partners with the Suffolk County Police Department, the Homicide Division. They're doing great work. We're going to continue to do that work, and we're going to continue to work the case. And when we come to a conclusion, hopefully we'll speak through an indictment.
So let me ask you this then, because we have 4 bodies dismembered in a park with nobody charged for murder. Do you believe there's any other people?
2 bodies.
2 bodies, right? But 4 different locations, right?
Yeah.
2 bodies. Do you believe that there are anybody else out there that you're looking for to place under arrest, a potential murderer, or do you think that the public is safe?
We are confident that the public is safe, and we don't engage in speculation. We engage in facts, evidence, and once we have that, we'll speak through an indictment.
And are there any other additional charges that these folks could be facing? Because everyone is also questioning what that house was exactly. where they were staying. I mean, were drugs involved, et cetera?
Yeah, anything's on the table.
Yeah.
All right, DA Tierney, keep us posted on this case. People are laser focused, and I think this topic of bail reform is going to be a big topic. Again, we have the governor on later on this morning to talk about some of the things you just brought up. So thank you for being here
Great,
this morning.
thank you.
Appreciate your time.